My idea is kind of a film noir cyberpunk murder mystery in the style of David Fincher's Seven and Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop. Imagine if RoboCop had his funding cut halfway through. What's he going to do? He's going to have to be a cop? Is he going to be a detective? What's he going to do? So he goes the detective angle. He doesn't really belong on any side. He's investigating a murder mystery. There's cybernetically augmented people, and it's in a world where people have cybernetic augmentations, like, you know, metal arms and things like that. Somebody is committing murders, and because he doesn't belong to the police, he doesn't belong to a normal human person, he's basically caught in the middle, and he's like the prime suspect. But there's actually somebody he has to track down. It's a murder mystery thriller. He also has a holographic assistant. She's kind of like the digital Tinkerbell to his Peter Pan, and they really they have like this really fun chemistry together. But he's very much a loner. He's kind of like a wandering knight, a knight-errant story. He's also a sucker for a pretty face. He sees a girl, he's like, I see this girl, and she's telling me things. She's lying, but I don't care. I'm still going to help her because he has that character flaw, a character weakness. The main story is generally just a murder mystery, but it's told in a kind of a futuristic time setting. And I'm collaborating with two filmmakers on it, Chad Crenshaw and DeRock. We're collaborating on it. We've got a treatment, and although you shot me down on it, I do have a comic book based on it. But it is my own intellectual property, so it's not like a Marvel movie or anything like that. And I think that's who you can market it to. You can market it to 18 to 40 who love comic book films. So it's like kind of like Iron Man with no money kind of thing.
Thank you, Jason.
You know, I think what you just said at the very end is kind of your biggest problem with this, is that, can you imagine Iron Man with no money? I don't think anybody would want to go see that movie. And what I heard in your pitch was, again, a little bit more about the setting and not a lot about the actual story or the story arc. If you compare two movies, what if RoboCop ran out of money? So that makes my mind go, okay, so is this a guy who's badly damaged and halfway rebuilt? What does that mean? If RoboCop ran out of money? So I think those are all things that should be kind of addressed in the pitch. But most importantly, and this goes to the Know Your Audience comments, you just pitched us like a $50-60 million movie. And that's just going by what the words you said. That's what it's going to take to put what you just said on the screen. And so that is going to cause you, that means your pitch is limited to who you can pitch it to. Certainly as an independent producer, and I've said this to other people, I know what my resources are. The sweet spot for making an independent movie right now is between $6 and $10-11 million budget. And so I've had people give me scripts that I thought the scripts were just great. I thought the story was written really well. It's fantastic. But it also cost $60 million to make, and I passed because I know I don't have those resources. So that's something else you need to think of, because you're placing yourself with this project in a much more difficult to get made realm.
Good. Yeah, I'm a huge science fiction fan, so I mean, basically the world that you pitched to me was, I loved it. But I would say, I would ask you, what is the inner conflict of this? I mean, other than being poor, what's going on inside of this guy? I mean, I love the world, but what about the world of him?
Basically, he is conflicted because he doesn't really belong anywhere. I mean, if he goes down the street, people are like, oh, who is this guy? Is he a cop? What is he? He doesn't really belong to anybody. He's very much a loner. The only person that he really trusts is not even really a person. She's an AI. She's a construct. And she's kind of like a learning thing. She's a learning program. And she helps him. The other conflict mainly is that he's just trying to stay alive, because not only does he have a killer that's trying to frame him, he's also got the police on his ass too. Excuse me, get on his butt. And he's trying to just figure out the case, prove his innocence, and find a place to fit. I mean, if this was a successful film, I could see it going, because the world could be huge. And I understand $60 million, that sounds about right for the idea in my head, But
It's a low figure.
Right.
But that's not necessarily wrong. I mean, that's fine. Fresh ideas are definitely.
I'm just going to talk to Ridley Scott,
And there you go. See if he's available. But I think one thing that we kind of touched on with the last pitch that I would definitely focus on in this pitch is tell us what is unique about it. Because what sounds like to me is what you have is a really awesome world, but you don't necessarily have the freshest story. Now, maybe you have a super fresh story. I believe that you do. But then give us what makes this one unique. Don't tell us it's just like every other murder mystery. And so far, what I'm hearing is every other murder mystery. Because let's be honest, 9 out of 10 of them have somebody's investigating who at some point in time gets framed or is in just as much danger as everyone else. And I mean, he sounds very much like Bogart. From Maltese Falcon, and it's cool if he's sort of based off of that, but give us other things that make him more unique. Because we're always looking for something that's a little fresh.
Jason, we're running out of time, and I want to make sure we get their comments. So, any further thoughts for Jason?
I agree with everything the panelists here today, and just say that use your imagination for the story, be unpredictable, and take some chances, just like you have for the concept. Just in the story, just be fearless and come up with something that we've never heard before. That would give it a twist.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.